ChatGPT released their new o1 model about a week ago, and in this video, I'm going to be giving you 5 prompts that make it unstoppable. Now, this model is unlike any other model, so these prompts that I'm going to show you and send off to o1 in this video will not be the same in something like GPT-4o or even Claude. They go much more into depth. There's much more deeper connections, tailored responses and solutions to your problems that you bring to ChatGPT. So in this video, I just want to show you 5 of the many prompts that I have in order to make this new model respond much better. Now, before we get into this, like always, the AI Foundations community is the spot to be if you want to master efficiency and productivity with artificial intelligence. I'll leave a link to join in the description or the top pinned comment. We have this awesome community here where we can share a bunch of different posts with each other. We have a network of 337 members who are all trying to leverage AI in their industry, sharing insights, feedback, and so much more. The network is the most powerful part here, but we also have a classroom with plenty of different courses on mastering AI and a calendar where we are starting to do 4 live calls per week. So again, if that interests you, this will be in the description or the top pinned comment below. Now, what makes this model different? Well, the responses are much better and much more thought out. Some of these prompts you might be seeing in this video, you might ask yourself, why can't I just type that out in GPT-4 or Claude or Perplexity and get the same answer? Well, that's because you will not get the same answer, because what they've done is they've trained it with something called reinforcement learning to perform complex reasoning. And not only that, but the part that really makes this model stand out is it thinks before it answers. Now, the technical thing it's doing in the background is long internal chain of thought prompting before actually responding. So it's mapping out its response, it's checking its constraints, ensuring that the solution is tailored and adaptable to your problem. Now, we could go a lot more in depth on that, but that's topic for another video. Let's get into the fun part where we're learning all of these prompts. It's making o1 unstoppable that I've been using, members of the community have been using, and I found that these are very awesome. We're going to have some use cases and some more practical prompts that can be applied to any output that it gives you as well. Prompt number 1 is the brainstorming paradigm that I've developed. Now, if you need to brainstorm anything, I would recommend using o1 because it's not going to be giving you any more canned responses. You can type out really long paradigms with deep, detailed information and get very tailored responses. So let's take a look at this brainstorming prompt that I've developed. I'll be leaving all of these prompts in the description for you to use if you're interested, but this is a brainstorming prompt that has 7 steps. Essentially, it's a paradigm, and not only does it have 7 steps, but I have a loop that it runs through at the end. So before the model responds, it's going to run through 3 steps 3 different times. Let's take a look at what this brainstorming prompt entails. And this is a huge prompt, right? And o1 does an amazing job at actually going through all of the steps. GPT-4 does not even come close to doing this right. So step number 1, you have to list your problem. And you're also giving it a system function or a role. Now, this is just basic prompt engineering skills taught in our large language model mastery class. And also we have tons of YouTube videos going over defining roles, even on this channel. So I recommend learning what role prompting is if you haven't already. But basically you'd give it a role to fill so it can act and think like that professional. Next, you need to list the problem you have, or the solution you want an answer to, or the topic that you want brainstormed right here. And those are really your only inputs. And you're just listing your problem here. And step number 2 that we're giving the large language model is to brainstorm solutions. We want 3 solutions. You can pause the screen and read this more in depth. But I say when providing these solutions, think about why you've selected each one and list 3 components or factors that went into choosing that solution. Step number 3, we have a probability evaluation. So it's not only going to just give me solutions, but I want it to think about the solutions it gave me and give it a probability of success score from 1% to 100%. That way it can kind of gauge itself on how well it thinks that that solution would work based on the problem that I want solved. And this is just an awesome step of the process because right away we're telling it, go back, look at those. Give us a probability of success percentage and give me reasons for it too. I'm saying list the pros and cons, difficulty to perform, challenges, outcome expectations, and so much more. Step number 4 is kind of fun because after it takes into account the probability evaluation, I want it to look at those percentage scores that it gave us. And I want it to exclude the bottom 2 percentage scores and isolate the winner. So I only want the best solution. Step number 5 is where this loop begins. So what I want you to do before you even send off this prompt is just copy the problem that you input up here and then paste it right here so we can reiterate the problem. I say take a look at the winning solution you found from steps 1 through 4. I need you to brainstorm 2 more winning ideas that could potentially have better results than our first winning solution. I say when providing these new solutions, provide 3 components that go into making each solution effective. And right now I'm just having it brainstorm the competitive solutions. And then it's kind of like we're repeating these steps. So I'm saying next for step 6, give me another probability evaluation for the 2 new ones, the 2 new solutions that we just got from step 5. And then step 7, we're going to exclude the losers and isolate the winner. There might be a new winner, there might be the same winner. Regardless, we're having it go back and try to generate 2 more winning solutions. And not only that, okay, we could end it here and have an amazing result. But what we're going to do is tell it to repeat this loop, steps 5 through 7, 3 more times. So it's going to keep trying to find 2 winning solutions, reevaluate the probability of success, exclude the losers, and isolate the winner. 3 different times, okay? So we're reiterating this thing so many different times, and it's doing all of this in the background, and it's following my paradigm that I've developed. Let's say I'm an e-commerce, or I'm trying to develop a unique product that I can at least get some blueprints out for and just have a mock-up idea. Let's say I have an idea of the product that I want, but I want help brainstorming solutions for my product or different ideas for my product. I can give it a role. So I can say you are a professional product developer. That would be an example of role prompting. And highlighted in yellow here is my problem. I say, I need you to develop a unique product that uses the power of augmented reality and large language models with multimodality. So now what do you do? Well, just copy the prompt, let it go to work, and have some fun. So I'm going to copy this entire thing, and then I'm going to paste it into ChatGPT using that new model. I'm going to hit Control-C. I'm going to make sure that I'm on ChatGPT 01 preview. I'm going to paste in my prompt, and then all I have to do is send it off. What you're going to notice is the response is going to take a little bit longer than usual. And that's because it's actually charting everything. It's thinking of solutions. It's evaluating its options. It's actually thinking before it speaks with this internal chain of thought prompting technique that it uses with reinforcement learning. Take a look at everything it's doing before it's actually giving me an answer. These are all the steps it's taking in the background before it even gives me an answer with this large prompt. I mean, just take a look at this. This is awesome, okay? It hasn't even given me a response yet. It thought for 36 seconds, but that wait time's okay because we're going to get an accurate, well thought out response. So it says, understanding the problem. As a professional product developer, I am tasked with creating a unique product that leverages AR with LLMs with multimodality, and it kind of reiterates what problem it's dealing with. It brainstorms the first solutions, just as mentioned in step 2, gives probability evaluation, and then it excludes the losers and isolates the winner. That was just steps 1 through 4, but now we have this 3-step, 3x loop that it has to go through. So it says beginning brainstorming loop, iteration 1 of 3, and then it gives a probability evaluation. So you can see solution 1 is a 75%, solution 2 is a 65%, solution 3 is a 70%. Now, I encourage you to pause the screen and read some of this as I'm going up. I don't have time to read this entire output in the video, but what you're going to notice is it's well thought out and much more different than any large language model that's currently on the market. So brainstorming is an awesome use case with this new O1 model, especially when using my brainstorming paradigm. Again, I'm going to leave these all in a Google Doc in the description, so you can just have fun, plug and play, and use it to your advantage. Next prompting use case that I use O1 for is drawing deeper connections between 2 different subjects. When you have loads and loads of information, 2 different subjects, things can get messy. So let's consolidate that information in O1. So I have quite a simple prompt here compared to the last brainstorming paradigm that we ran through. It says, based on the research provided, tell me how X is so revolutionary when used with X. So when you're using this prompt, this isn't necessarily a set prompt you have to use. There might be some different wordplay, but think about how you can draw connections between 2 different things, because the parallels that O1 can see is unlike any other large language model. So I'm going to be taking a tactical approach to this and making it geared towards this video. So what I have here is this white paper on chain of thought prompting that was released January 10th of 2023. So they're finally just implementing chain of thought prompting into these models in order to reason with their responses before actually giving you an output, which I think is just awesome. More accuracy, less hallucination, and more quality outputs. You know, I could sacrifice speed for that any day of the week. But anyway, let's get into this. We have this white paper here. What I can do is I can just copy all the information. Now, when O1 supports PDFs and images, that will be absolutely insane. But for now, we just have to copy and paste certain things into here. So I'm just going to copy and paste these 10 pages all the way up to the conclusion into ChatGPT O1. I'm just going to enter down a couple of times and paste it in. And then in place of my X here, I can say, tell me how chain of thought prompting is so revolutionary when used with, or instead of used with, I can say used internally in large language models. Beautiful. And so we have chain of thought prompting. How is it so revolutionary when used internally with large language models? That's kind of what this is going over. And you could even upload this research if you wanted to. But I think it's kind of cool to let O1 run with the idea of chain of thought prompting and see how it's so powerful when used internally in large language models. Then I can say without the user physically prompting. Beautiful. I can send it off because, again, we have the 10-page PDF all pasted in here, ready to go. When O1 can support PDFs, that's going to be absolutely insane. But let's send it off. As you can see, this prompt is very, very large. A lot of different numbers, equations, information, and things to take in, as well as my question. So it's got to map out my question. It's got to do a lot here. And then this one actually thought pretty quick, which is actually quite impressive. It highlighted the advancements from that PDF information that I posted in there. It adhered to my instructions, discussed immediate reasoning, leveraged chain of thought prompting, funny enough, enhanced the reasoning, and also the model comprehension as well. So what it gave me was a very nice detailed answer on why it's revolutionary to use this in large language models. It says, it enables models to internally generate immediate reasoning steps without explicit prompting from the user. I think that right there is pretty important. What it says is this mirrors human thought patterns. Very, very cool and also very true, allowing the model to tackle complex problems much more effectively. Beautiful. And then it gives me why this approach is groundbreaking and just awesome, well laid out steps. I recommend you pause the screen and read this once again so you can see everything and all the information that it provided me. So again, I recommend doing this to draw deeper connections between two different things. O1 thinks about the connection. It doesn't just spit out an answer. You could do it philosophically, or you could do it hypothetically in a situation that isn't actually real yet. You could say, how might this connect to this? Or how do these two things connect? Maybe they don't connect at all. O1 is going to think about that and really try to draw a connection, if there is any. And that's the beautiful thing about this internal chain of thought prompting. Prompting use case number 3 is to ask O1 to explain its reasoning on how it got its answer and to give you a sustainable understanding of why it actually works. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Drake, I can do this in any other large language model. But the problem with that is there is a completely different level to this, because not only is O1 already thinking before it gives you a response now, but if you ask it to explain, it's going to think about how it thought about the previous prompt or the previous output that it gave you. It's thinking about how it went into that. It's thinking about its previous thought process. So it's a completely different level, and it's thinking of how it's also going to explain that to you. So it goes much deeper than any other large language model. It thinks before it answers. Recommend you give this one a shot if you want a more sustainable understanding into the solution that O1 gives you. So we're going to get into that right now. Let's take a look at an example real quick. Let me just create a quick content calendar for a social media account. That way we can get an understanding of why O1 gave us that content calendar in that specific format. So here's the initial prompt I have typed out that I'm going to have O1 explain its reasoning to. I say, create me a content calendar for the month of October 2024 for my artificial intelligence YouTube channel. Here are some recent data and stats from my past 10 videos. And then I just put in some data here from my past 10 videos. I got this from my YouTube analytics, copy and pasted it in here real quick. And this is an example of a good prompt already, but this isn't the example, right? We have a goal here, we have some context, and we also give it an action. And then it gives me video ideas. It thought for 24 seconds, beautiful. This is our initial prompt. We go to O1 for things like this too, because it can draw connections between views and multiple different things compared to 4.0. It gives me video 1, video 2, video 3, video 4, and video 5. But this is where the prompt use case number 3 comes in to have it explain its reasoning. Okay, so I'm going to paste in this prompt right here that I have. This just is very basic. It says, explain to me how you came to this conclusion. It says, give me a sustainable understanding of why this works. So you're getting the actual result. You're getting the answer, but why does this work? Make it think about it again. Okay, make it go through its thought process that it thought about for 24 seconds. I'm going to send this off, and this prompt is super powerful with this new O1 model because it's thinking about how it's thinking. And it's amazing, actually. It's absolutely insane and mind-boggling how much better this model is with content creation when you give it some data compared to the other models. It says analyzing past video performance. It looks at the high-performing videos, okay? It's giving me what it ran through. So it looked at these high-performing videos. It says key observations. Automation is a hit. Full guides perform well. New features and updates. Those are 3 key observations that it had based on my content and what works for my channel. And so it says identifying successful content themes. After it had all these observations, it kind of gave the themes of my channel. AI automation tutorials, in-depth guides, new model or features, tips for beginners. Really exactly what my channel is about, with giving it very little information. And then it went into how it crafted the content calendar. Scheduled on Thursdays, regular posting same day each week, helps build an audience expectation and increases return viewership. And then it gives me the why. It doesn't just give me the answer, it gives me the why it works. Beautiful response. Content creation, unlike anything I've ever seen, but more specifically, the insights you get from asking it to explain its reasoning is unlike any other model. The next prompting use case is for those of you who like developing plans, actionable plans in order to accomplish big goals, small goals, medium-sized goals. This new O1 model is amazing at doing something called backcasting, thinking from your end goal to where you need to be today. I like telling the large language model to think backwards in order to help me achieve a goal because it reframes the mind of the chain of thought prompting, or the mind of the large language model if you want to call it a mind. So again, I have a big prompt similar to the brainstorming prompt that I want to provide for you in order to get some action plans created with this new large language model. Excited for this one? Let's take a look. Now the goal of this prompt is to have the large language model think backwards in order to create a strategic plan for achieving your desired future state. So step number 1, we're defining our desired future state. It doesn't really matter what it's for. Do you have a big goal? Do you have a big run that you want to complete? Maybe you're doing a triathlon. Maybe you want to accomplish a certain financial goal, a certain weight goal. Whatever your goal is, you can use large language models, especially this O1 preview, in order to help give you a strategic plan. And in this case, we're using backcasting, so it thinks backwards instead of front to back. It's thinking back to front. It's a good way to reframe the chain of thought prompting in order to provide you a very good strategic plan. So here you're just going to insert your desired future state and goal, and then we're going to do a current state analysis. So we're going to assess the current state of your situation, and then you're just going to describe your current situation here based on the goal you want to achieve. Like, where are you currently at? If you're trying to lose weight, for example, what's your current stats? What's your height? What's your weight? What's your body fat percentage? What's your BMI? What's your visceral fat? What are all these things that go into losing weight? All of your metrics. Providing context to a large language model is super important, and this is what step number 2 is for. So those are the only 2 things you need to do. This is what the large language model is going to do. It's going to give you milestone development. It's going to identify key milestones for you. So you have certain goals that you can hit. Maybe they're 90 days out. You can mention how long you want these milestones out for. And then it's going to work backwards to create pathways. I'm telling it, your job is to work backwards from future state to present before developing a plan. It's going to think, okay, where does Drake want to be in his future desired state? How are we going to get him there? Let's work from back to front. Then I tell it to run through this before giving me an answer. So it's doing all of this in the background, underneath the hood with the new chain of thought prompting. Maybe I have a member goal for my AI Foundations community that I want to hit in a certain amount of time. Okay, so I'm going to give all the information. I say, I want my community on the platform school called AI Foundations to get 3,000 members paying $49 per month. This community teaches people everything about artificial intelligence, large language models, generative AI, AI sound, AI video, etc. And then I give some stats of what we do, 3 to 4 live calls per week. And then I get into the granulars, what I really want this community to be about. I want this community to be more than just AI. I don't want people to just get their content and leave. I want this to be a network of friends who help each other thrive, partner with each other, join the live calls, interact. I want it to be sought after because the result of this community is making people's lives more efficient with AI. This is my current state analysis, and then the rest of the prompt is history, right? Now that we have our future desired state, our current state, we can have it run through this process before giving us an answer. It's going to think, Okay, Drake wants 3,000 members in its group. Beautiful, 6 months. Then it's going to slowly work backwards until it can give me a strategic plan from the front to the finish. I'm going to copy this, head over to ChatGPT, and then I'm going to paste it in. I like doing it in a Google Doc. It's a little bit easier for me to see. But yeah, other than that, we have my current state, we have my future state, we have the backcasting analysis in here, and let's send this off so we can develop a strategic plan with this new O1 preview model. I'm going to send this off. Look at this beautiful long prompt. It's going to think through this before it answers. As you can see, it already says defining the future, okay? Cultivating a community. Beautiful. I love how it does this and how it follows your instructions. It actually can run through loops and paradigms in order to get you where you want. It's very, very tailored. Doesn't really feel like canned responses that you usually get. It thought for 24 seconds before even giving me an answer. And then it gave me a vision statement. It says, define the desired future state. It gives me a nice vision statement here. It goes through my current state analysis, my milestone development, gives me month-by-month goals that I need to hit and tasks that I need to complete in each month in order to maintain and keep my goal. It even gives me the backwards path that it created in order for me to get to my goals, which I think is very cool. And it goes backwards, month 5 to 6, 5 to 4, and so on down the list. It identified necessary conditions. Now, I've already read through this. I think the results are pretty solid and just really tailored to my situation I'm going through. And then it gives me a strategic action plan. Again, this was just like the groundwork up here, everything that I just showed you. It didn't even give me my action plan yet, but then it gives me immediate actions. It gives me short-term actions, and it really goes through my action plan. It says analyze churn reasons by collecting feedback, review onboarding process so that new members feel welcomed. And it's very strategic. I really like how it broke it down like this in midterm, short-term, immediate, long-term, ongoing. And the depth of this output that it gave me is astronomically more in depth than what any other model would have given me. So using that backcasting protocol is just amazing in order to create strategic plans with O1 and ChatGPT. It's kind of revolutionary. I haven't really been able to see this good of results with a large language model when it comes to strategic planning with internal operations. Prompting use case number 5 is to enhance your writing with this new model. Now, this is going to help because not only are you going to combine prompting use case number 3, where you go back and have it look at its answer in order to explain to you why it gave you the answer it did, but you're going to tell it to look back and review its previous answer, come back to you with a better answer, and then you're going to tell it to ask why it changed the things it did. This is going to be an amazing way to enhance existing writing or to enhance the output that it just gave you. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that strategic plan that we just created, and we're going to enhance this plan, and then we're going to have it explain to us why it enhanced the writing. So a very simple prompt similar to number 3. I say, review your last response and search for areas of improvement. Tell me everything you've changed, the reasoning behind changing what you've changed, and rewrite the response. I'm going to have it go back and analyze its previous response and look for areas of improvement. So I'm just going to send off this very nice, easy prompt. It's going to think, it's going to look back at its previous response, evaluating and refining, finding errors, enhancing clarity, and then it's considering tweaks to milestones and adjustments to the action plan. So very cool. It thought for 8 seconds. Again, it's a small prompt, but it's reevaluating. And look at this. I identified several areas for improvement to provide a more actionable and detailed strategic plan. Refined milestones, detailed churn reduction strategies, expanded marketing strategies. It's not only refining things and changing things, but it's expanding on things. This is an amazing follow-up prompt to use in order to get the most bang for your buck with O1. So then it just rewrites my plan. And again, you can pause the screen and read through some of this if you want. It looks like it changes some of the things and puts it in bold. So it changed 6 different things just after telling it to go back and rewrite the response. Very, very powerful and very good to use, especially if you have something that you want to actually follow or a strategic plan you're doing or a goal setting initiative. Whatever it is, this prompt is amazing when it comes to enhancing writing, having it check over its response, and really dive deep into your issue so you can have a perfect tailored solution using this new O1 model. That's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed, please drop a like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow, helps get these prompts out there so that other people can see the benefits. And also, if you want to be with us, you want to develop more than just a little bit of knowledge in AI, but real human connections where we do Zoom calls, a network of people that you can work with, bounce ideas off of, then I recommend the AI Foundations community. Now, this is so much more than just learning about AI. We're developing real human connections in here with all of the members. Every Friday, we do a weekly rewards call. And we also do introductions. So all the new members we have hop on with all the existing members. We introduce ourselves. We get to know each other on a more personal level. Relationships are transcending far above AI. So if you really want that and you want to surround yourself with a group of like-minded people who are using AI every single day in the AI news and all that fun stuff, then I highly recommend you join this community. This is the best community for artificial intelligence. It's actually your final stop for AI. So with that being said, that's enough promo. I hope you enjoyed this AI video going over the new O1 model and how you can prompt with it. Again, I'll leave these prompts in the description. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.